Today on Living by Design, host Kathy Holloway Hill sits down with broadcast journalist, media darling, and diet diva Kelly Vaughn to talk about the HCG diet plan. Today on Living by Design. Tony Lamont presents Living by Design with host Kathy Holloway Hill. Kathy is a strong, powerful voice. She entertains, informs, and inspires her audiences everywhere she goes.
Hi, I'm Kathy Holloway Hill, and welcome to the Living by Design show. We have a great show coming up for you today. How many of you out there would like to lose some weight? I know that is a lot of your goals. A lot of you have that as your resolution this year. And today we're going to be talking to the Diet Diva. You also know her as a massive media and broadcast celebrity in our city. She has had many years, I'll just say 20 plus years on the radio, on TV. She does Inside Indy on WHMB TV 40. She was on WTPI with Kelly and Steve for many, many years, and I just love her to death. I admire her greatly, but today she's going to help you find out the secret to weight loss. I want to welcome Miss Kelly Vaughn to Living by Design.
Hello, Kathy. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here today because you're going to really help our viewers because you have a wealth of knowledge in this area. And we're going to be talking about the HCG diet.
Yes.
It's a program.
It's a weight loss program that I found out about, say, 8 years ago. And at one point in my life, I was 230 pounds.
Oh, are you serious?
230 pounds. And so I felt that I needed to do something about that. Though over the years, I've been on many, many diets. I've been on every diet under the sun. So whether it's Nutrisystem, Physicians Weight Loss, Weight Watchers, LA Weight Loss, I've done them all. And none of them, you lose weight.
Right. But it comes back.
And that's not necessarily the diet's fault. I will say that. But I've never been on such a very fast, effective program as HCG. And I have been able to keep the weight off for 8 to 10 years. And it has something to do with the diet as well. But I think part of the reason people gain weight is they don't adjust to their new size.
Lifestyle or mindset that goes along with
the lifestyle change that has to take place too. Yeah, but you lose much more weight on HCG, and you lose it faster and more effectively, and you lose even different fat in your body that comes off. So it's a whole different ball game than any other program I've ever done in my life. And trust me, I have done them all, nearly all anyway. Yeah.
I'm glad you're saying that, Kelly, because I know there are a ton of people, viewers out there who are saying the same thing. Yes, I've done them all, whatever, just another one. But how is this different from all the other ones that you've done? How is this different?
HCG deals with a hormone that is prescribed by a doctor. Now, so I am not a physician, and I don't issue HCG, right. You have to get it from a physician, but it is a hormone, human chorionic gonadotropin, and it
wait, hold on one second. Say that again a little bit slower. HCG stands for
human chorionic gonadotropin. And actually it's the hormone that we as women release in our systems when we're pregnant that assists us in feeding the fetus. That's what you also test for in the pregnancy test. Okay, when you're looking, the EPT test, that's what we're looking for. So when that's present, that says there is a fetus, there's a baby, and that it needs to be fed. So HCG tells your fat cells, release your stored fat to feed the fetus. So you think the baby eats when you eat. The baby's eating from your stores. and it triggers fat to be released into your system. So a doctor by the name of A.T.W. Simmons, he was a British endocrinologist, discovered this many, many years ago, back in the 40s and the 50s, and found that if he used HCG with people who were not pregnant, be it male or female, because it's not a sex hormone, it does not feminize men, that it triggers fat loss. And
so this does work for men or women?
Or women, yeah. So, and what I do is I teach it. And again, I'm not a physician, but I teach the diet, the eating part of it. And again, you have to get the hormone from a doctor, but it's very fast, it's very effective. I lost 19 pounds in the first 26 days of the program, because you have to do at least 26 days of the program as advised by Dr. Simmons, again, the gentleman who developed the diet, the British endocrinologist. So, yeah. And people might say, well, 19 pounds, that's a lot of weight. Well, not really. Most programs are 2.5 pounds a week, and many people will tell you, well, you shouldn't lose more than 2.5 a week. Well, when I lost the first 5 pounds that first week, I don't think my heart was going, hey, Kelly, put back on that other 2.5 pounds.
Exactly.
It was probably relieved, like, thank God she's losing weight. So that was 8-9 years ago, and I've never looked back. It changed my life, and it just had a tremendous impact on it. Yeah. So
that's awesome. I have to ask, because I'm thinking about what you just explained, HCG, and now that you're saying that, it makes sense, because I know that that is one of the hormones they look for when they take a pregnancy test.
Right, exactly.
So with that being the case, if that's the hormone that your body releases, that a female's body will release to discover that she's pregnant, do you have any type of pregnancy symptoms when you take HCG, like morning sickness, or?
That's a good question. Nobody's ever asked me that. No, actually you feel pretty good. And again, that's why I teach this. So if anybody wants to know how to do the program, I teach it for free. Okay. But no, you don't have symptoms of pregnancy. I do hear some people who go on the program to say they feel a feeling of elation. They're happy. Maybe they're happy because they're losing weight, because you lose weight, you lose nearly 1 pound a day. Exactly. So no, but I don't notice anything like that. But you are not hungry on this program. I think a lot of people can't make it through a weight loss program because they become hungry, because you're lowering your caloric intake. And so you become hungry, and people can't stick with that. But with HCG, because it's releasing about 2,500 calories into your bloodstream, so you're living off of your fat storms, which gives you a sense of satisfaction. And yes, it is a low caloric program. You eat meat, fruit, and vegetable twice a day, and a little bit of bread twice a day. So it's low calorically, but you don't need it, because the HCG is doing its job. It's forcing your fat from your cells into your bloodstream. It's kind of like being on a food tube. So if you were on a food tube, heaven forbid, you would never get hungry. You're going to survive because they're feeding you. You just you don't eat the hamburger through your mouth. It's going through your bloodstream.
It helps your body use the fat stores that are being stored.
Right. It's releasing it, and then your body uses it. And that gives you a sense of satisfaction. So really, the meal part of it is low calorically, but time you add the 2,500 calories, you're eating over 3,000 calories a day, even though you're not eating it this way, you're eating it internally. So you're not hungry, and you feel great, and you're losing weight like crazy. And most people cannot stick with a program for an extended period of time, because they're either hungry, blood sugar's high, or dropping low. You get the shakes. We don't get any of that. Okay. And so you feel really good. Now, I wouldn't say I get hungry. Do I miss things? Yes. Yeah. Do I want some French fries from time to time? Yeah.
Well, but I'm going to stop you right there, because you are giving a ton of awesome information, and I have more questions. So we're going to just take a quick break, and we're going to be right back with more from the Diet Diva. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Kathy Holloway Hill, and as you know, here on Living by Design, our passion is your health. And we have a fabulous new supplemental line in our Healthy by Design segment that is going to take your health to higher heights. Whether you need to manage your diabetes, high blood pressure, your cholesterol, your libido, or lose weight, we have something for you. The first 50 people who purchase from our website, you will receive a free coaching session with me. I'm waiting. Thank you. Hi, welcome back to Living by Design, and we are here with the broadcast media icon, legend herself, Miss Kelly Vaughn. But today, she's the Diet Diva.
That's right.
Yeah, and so Kelly, you actually call this your business diet ministry.
Right, yeah.
Why did you choose that title for this program?
Back in 2008, 2007, I had been praying, and I think at that time I was 215, and I said, Lord, I don't want to die this way. Now, I don't know why death was more important than life, and so God answered my prayers when a friend, Diane Markinvan, came to me and said, you gotta try this diet program, HCG diet, and I was like, I'm not doing that, because it was rather low calorically, and I read the book. And I was just amazed by what I read, the Dr. Simeon's, his study. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. And HCG can either be taken by injection, it can be taken by a pellet, or by a drop. Okay. And I'm a purist, so I did the injections, and the weight literally fell off. And I was amazed, because at the time when I was doing it, there are some HCG clinics around town, but back then nobody was doing it quite like that. Right. And so I thought, wow. And so I would run into people and they would go, you look fabulous. And I go, wow, I guess I've gone from fat to fabulous. And then so that's actually, I own that domain. And so I thought, well, people keep asking me, what am I doing? So I started classes. I started teaching people, because people need help. Whether the churches or you go to the shopping mall, people are suffering. They can't walk, they're obese, or they're just maybe 20 pounds overweight or 10 pounds overweight. They're not happy, they're not healthy. And so when I had people, reaching out to me to ask for help, like, what are you doing? Then I start to teach it. So right here in the living room, I had 3 or 4 gals who got together, and they were very successful. In fact, you're going to talk to one of them, Till Williams. And we've never looked back. Wow. And so I thought, well, maybe God wants me to help other people. And, and it takes you forever to actually put that into motion. So recently, I think I had a revelation that this is a ministry, and I need to go out and preach the gospel of HCG, because I'm telling you, there is nothing like it. Nothing like it. Now,
because of what you just explained, that makes me have to ask you, is this better for people who have serious weight loss issues? Or what about vanity pounds? Like, you may want to lose just 5 or 10 pounds to get in a nice dress because you have an event coming up.
Okay.
What about those people?
Well, I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to advise as far as weight goes. I think obviously when the heavier the person, the more effective this is. And there's a lot of deep science behind the program. It just is a little more effective for people who are probably, 15 to 20 pounds overweight. Okay, gotcha. But it doesn't mean somebody who's smaller can't try it. Right. But I think you'd get, those who are heavier certainly get more results. It's more effective on them because they have more abnormal fat, so to speak. And again, that gets into the science. That's a whole other show. That's why I actually take an hour or 2 to teach people the science behind it. And when you understand the science, it clicks and you go, okay, I got to do this because it will make the weight come off. If you do what the doctor says in the diet, the weight will literally fall off. And I think a lot of people don't make it because the diets are so challenging and you're hungry or you have the shakes, but also a lot of it's related to your emotions.
And I want you to go back and we're going to talk about the emotion. Okay. I want you to go back real quick to what we spoke about prior to the break, when you talked about the caloric intake, and even though it is smaller, your body, you don't have to worry about your body going into some kind of diabetic, hypoglycemic, low blood sugar issue because it's actually using the fat cells that your body already has. Yeah, well,
the beauty of the genius behind HCG is because you're eating so few, you're only eating 500 or 600 calories through your mouth, but because HCG is forcing about 2,500 calories into your bloodstream, that's about 3,000 calories a day. Right. But you're losing a half a pound to a pound a day. Most diets tell you to drop your caloric rate intake to 1,200 and then when you come off the program, you go back to eating 2,000 a day because 2,000 is pretty normal.
Right.
Okay. So that's why you get the quick weight gain. We don't do that. I'm consuming 3,000 calories a day on the diet internally and externally, but calorically, when I come off the program, from the 500 back to 2,000, my body never dropped its metabolic rate because I never dropped down to 1,200 calories. So that's another reason why we don't have that quick weight gain. So when I read that and the science behind it, I thought this is unreal. Dr. A.G.W. Simmons was the Einstein of dieting.
And I'm glad you said that, because oftentimes what happens is that when we just go on crash diets and just, we ourselves, without the power and the help of HCG, we just stop eating, or we lower our own caloric intake, and our body starts to use the muscle, because muscle is protein. So your body needs that extra protein.
Exactly, it starts to eat the muscle.
Right. So with HCG,
that
it knows
happen.
Not to do that, because it uses, oh my goodness.
It has enough. I'm telling you, it's insane. And people, they don't believe it. They go, how can that be? And I'm telling you, you know how it can be? Because number one, I prayed for it. And I believe that was God's answer. And there's no way, I promise you, because I've done even Atkins, which is pretty good. Atkins is the second best thing, but the science is different. It's a different kind of fat loss. And I actually use Atkins to maintain, because part of the problem, folks, and you know it, we eat too many carbohydrates.
Amen.
Let's call it like it is. And that's what's made our bodies faulty over the years. Overdoing the carbohydrates, we become insulin resistant. Our bodies can't process sugar.
Let's be clear on that. Simple carbs.
Yes.
Not complex. Simple carbs. Yeah. That's the breads and the pastas and the sugars and the desserts and yes.
Yes, but the leafy green vegetables and things like that you can have in abundance.
Right.
In excess, and it won't bother you. So, but one of the things I was saying about when a person can't stick with the diet, so many of these programs that we have that people don't succeed in them, is because they take so long. And so if it takes you, I remember once doing one of the local ones where you go to the club and you meet, and I lost 5 pounds in like a month. Well, I lost 19 pounds in a month. Now, I can take 4 months to lose 19 pounds, but you know what's going to happen? Fluffy might get hit by a truck, just stuff happens.
That's right.
So that's going to throw you off your program. But when you do HCG, focus for those 26, no more than 46 days, stay on the program, pray that nothing off the wall happens, and trust me, it will flip your life upside down. And I'm telling you, I'm just preaching the gospel about it, and it saved my life. And so I'm reaching out to other people to say, I'll teach you for free. The hormone is not free. Again, you get that through a physician, and I have a physician who I do work with, but my job is to tell people how to do it.
So I have so much more, and I have a really big question to ask that I know our viewers are wondering also.
Okay.
So we're going to take a quick break. And you have to stay tuned, because you want to take advantage of all of this amazing information coming up on Living by Design.
Hi, my name is Teal Williams, and I lost 37 pounds in 37 days on the HCG diet. Believe me when I tell you this diet is for real. I'm a local actress right here in Indianapolis. I knew I was losing jobs to thinner competition, but the final straw came when my agent asked for an updated 8x10 photo that more resembled my current look and weight. He gave me 30 days. I didn't want to do it, and I asked the Lord for help. The next phone call I got was from Kelly, talking about this HCG diet. I was shocked to see how much weight Kelly had lost since the last time I saw her, so I tried it for myself. I had to make a change. So if you feel you need to make a change, this is one of the easiest diets you can do. My advice to you is try the HCG diet, and don't give up. It's not too late.
Hi, welcome back to Living by Design, and we are here talking about a very important topic, weight loss, that we all want. Male, female, it doesn't matter. We all need that. Now, Kelly, let me ask you about the exercise aspect of this program, because I know a lot of people are going to want to know, how much exercise do I have to put in and all these things.
Okay.
So talk a little bit about Is that required? Can you still lose the weight if you don't go to the gym or if you don't work out? Should you work out? Is that part of it? How does that work?
Well, exercise is just critical no matter what you're doing.
Sure.
Actually, though, when you're on HCG, Dr. Simeon suggests during the duration of the program that you don't do a whole lot. Okay, now people might be happy to hear that, but I would say at least do some light walking. You always want to keep it moving.
Right.
But it is a little challenging on your body initially. It's probably the first time you do it, and you might feel a little tired because your body it's losing the weight. But certainly once you come off the program, you want to increase your activity. There's no getting around that. People really need to get a grip that it's really the fountain of youth to move. And I dance. I don't do a lot of heavy stuff, but
exactly.
I ballroom dance. I dance. I put a little Beyonce on, and it's on.
And that's cardio. I mean, cardio is cardio.
Yeah.
Once you're getting that heart rate up. I need for you to go ahead and give your website. How can people get in touch with you, and how can they get more information? So what is your website?
hcgdietshow.com. hcgdietshow.com.
And
I named
on
it
your
that.
screen.
Yeah, and I named it that because I always do shows, so I named my ministry hcgdietshow.com.
Now, if they want to work with you, is there a number they should call, or is there a contact tab on your website?
Yeah, you can call 317-610-9792 and just set up an appointment with me. I prefer to teach in groups just because I spend a lot of time. I teach for free. I pour my heart out into it. And doing one person, if I have 4 or 5 people, it's more convenient to do that many, because oftentimes the person will start the diet program, lose the weight, and their 5 friends are going to call me anyway. So have your friends come with you.
So when you say you teach, if someone called you and wanted you to coach them through the program, you don't do that. You only teach them how to.
Well, they usually will call on me and lean on me. They have my number and ask me questions. But usually once they've got the literature, they do pretty good once they get started. And I do church groups. You're at your job, you have some kind of women's group, men's group. I can come and speak and teach. I love to teach masses of people. And eventually I'd like to do my own seminars and have people come out and participate. I
would love that too. And maybe I'll have you part of one of mine, because it's all about being healthy. Yeah. And weight loss is one of the things that we definitely need to have in our habits and routine.
I fear growing old and not being mobile, and to me it's like the fountain of youth. So I love it, and it's changed my life. I would not be able to be where I am at this age if it were not for the HCG protocol. And I know there are people who are critical. Also, I want to say there are some HCG multi-level marketing companies out there. That's not what this is. What I do, I act independently. And I work with independent doctors who do the program. But there are some where if you think you can just walk into CVS or Walgreens to get it, you cannot. It comes from a pharmacy. And if you have something that's different than that, that's not HCG. It might be a mild derivative, like there's aspirin and then there's Tylenol 3. They're not the same, okay?
That's a good point.
Yeah, so you're getting a trace of it. And I wouldn't be fooling around with a low caloric program like this unless you have the real deal. So you want to use pure HCG prescribed by a physician.
Now, when you're teaching the program or you're coaching or helping the individual to go through the program, do you recommend the doctor, or do
I have a doctor who I specifically work with, who you can connect with through my website.
So if they wanted to work with their own doctor?
You can work with your own doctor, but it's interesting. A lot of the local doctors here, or anywhere for that matter, they don't get it. They think, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
Yet they think nothing of me taking a high blood pressure medicine and to bring my blood pressure down, but yet if I lose weight and use the hormone to lose weight and keep my weight down, I don't need the blood pressure medicine so much. That might be why they don't want you to do the HCG. Again,
I'm a huge believer in alternative remedies. So when you tell me that I have to take a pill for my cholesterol that is going to give me a boatload of side effects, when I can take garlic and CoQ10, and I'm just saying that's my opinion, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying that's what I would do. When I can take that and it gives you the same result without the side effects,
And
you decide.
yeah, and we're not recommending you come off your medication,
No,
but
we're
there
not.
are
We are
things that
absolutely
can
not.
help you.
Yes.
And I eventually lowered my blood pressure medicine intake. I don't need as much as I used to take, which I think had high side effects of hair loss. So, you know, I don't understand that why people are so freaked out about a hormone that women produce naturally in the placenta. And actually, I was on HCG for fertility years ago, and nobody said anything. When I was trying to get big, fat, and pregnant, nobody had a problem. But as soon as I took HCG to lose weight, why are you taking that? And one lady says to me, because people come to my class, and she goes, well, I'm not going to put anything foreign in my body. Okay, that's fine. Then don't you put another Oreo or Dorito in your mouth.
Ooh.
Because there's nothing more foreign or toxic than junk food.
Preach.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Amen. Hallelujah. And that is a great time for me to let you know that you have just been an amazing guest, Kelly. I mean,
thank you.
what a dream of mine to interview the amazing, iconic Kelly Vaughn. Thank you so much.
Where she gets all that from. But
I love you because I love you. I loved you back then. I love you now.
we appreciate you. I appreciate you too, Kathy. And that I'm honored that you would even take the time to ask me these questions and interview me. It's a pleasure to know you, because I already know you, because you have your show, Living by Design.
Yes, Living by Design. We're on WHMV, just like you are. But I do appreciate, because this is a very, very important topic. I mean, it affects our health, and I have a Healthy by Design segment. So Healthy by Design is very important to me. So thank you so much for being a guest on the show, and I just love you to death, and just keep doing all the amazingly wonderful work that you're doing. Okay. And we appreciate you.
Okay, well, call me, and if you want me to come out and speak, I'll come and speak.
Absolutely.
Not a charge.
Absolutely. We thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Living by Design, and we really want you to get in touch with Kelly, because we want you to make sure that your health is where it should be, so that you can be living by design. Thanks. We'll see you next time.